Good afternoon. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Business Inspections, Housing, and Zoning Committee. I'm Councilmember Lisa Goodman. I'll be chairing the committee. I've been joined by Councilmembers Chugtai, Ellison, Osman, Rainville, and Chavez, which is everyone on the committee. Thank you all for being here today. We're going to begin with the consent agenda. The consent agenda consists of items 7 through 22. It includes the liquor license approvals, the liquor license renewals, appointments to the Minneapolis Arts Commission, a Affordable Housing Trust Fund award extension, summer grant applications to the Met Council's Livable Communities Pre-Development Grant Program, a parking lot lease agreement and stormwater management system easement with African Development Center, approving Hennepin County's authority to provide financial assistance for naturally occurring affordable housing, accepting a workforce development grant, amending a council action with regard to the BTAP funding recommendations, a rezoning at 3225 Minnehaha and 3225 East Minnehaha Parkway, a rezoning at 715 Lowry Avenue and 719 Lowry Avenue Northeast, a rezoning at 5121 and 5129 France Avenue, and a rezoning at 315, 319, 323 13th Avenue Northeast and 1312 University Avenue. We're also setting public hearings in items 20, 21, and 22 for public hearings on June 21st. Is there anything anyone on the committee would like to pull to discuss or would need further information about? Seeing none, I'll move the consent agenda and ask those in favor to signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Those items are approved. We'll move on to the first public hearing, which is going to be presented by Mr. Velasquez. This is a rental hall and extended hours of operation license. I think, Mr. Velasquez, if you don't mind, I'll take items 1 and 2 together. If that's okay, maybe you can give the staff presentation for both. Thank you, sir.
Of licenses and consumer services. And I'm presenting to you today a pair of applications, one for Salón de Eventos Puerto Veracruzano, Inc., doing business as Salón de Eventos Puerto Veracruzano, and the second for Puerto Veracruzano II, Inc., doing business as Puerto Veracruzano II. Salón de Eventos Puerto Veracruzano is located at 341 East Lake Street, while Puerto Veracruzano II is at 331 East Lake Street, adjacent to one another. The event center, that applicant is looking for a rental hall and extended hours license. Once they're open, they'll offer seating capacity for up to 175 occupants. Hours of operation will be Monday through Thursday from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., Friday through Sunday from 8 a.m. to 2 a.m. On May 17th, public hearing notices were sent to residents within 600 feet of the property. For the rental hall, that's 24 properties. For the restaurant, that's 74 properties. Notifications were also sent to the Central Area Neighborhood Development Organization, to the Lake Street Council, and to Councilmember Chavez. We have received no comments in response to either of these public hearing notifications. A review of 311 cases and police calls for service revealed no issues attributable to either of these different locations or their properties or the businesses themselves. At this time, licensing recommends approval of the rental hall, extended hours license, and on-sale liquor limited entertainment with Sunday sales license for Salón de Eventos Puerto Veracruzano and Puerto Veracruzano II. This concludes my presentation. I'll stand for any comments or questions.
We'll see if there's any questions for staff or members of the committee. Seeing none, thank you for your report. We'll open the public hearing on items number 1 and 2. I understand there are 2 people who are signed up to speak, Mr. Menendez and Mr. Abraham.
Hola, buenas tardes.
Hello, good afternoon.
Mi nombre es Araceli
My name is Araceli.
y soy la dueña de Puerto Veracruzano número 2 Restaurant,
I am the owner of Puerto Veracruzano number 2 restaurant
Salón de Eventos Puerto Veracruzano.
and Salón de Eventos Puerto Veracruzano.
Y estamos nuevamente aquí porque después de 7 años trabajando con Puerto Veracruzano, un pequeño error que cometimos sin saber.
We are here once again After 7 years of operating, there was a small situation that occurred that led me to apply again.
Cambiamos de LLC a IN y eso fue lo que ocasionó que estemos nuevamente aquí.
We changed from an LLC to an Inc., to a corporation, and that is what made the change that required us to be here today.
Okay, great. Thank you for your testimony.
No, thank you.
Gracias, gracias. Thank you,
Thank you for your time. Thank you for doing the interpretation, sir.
thank you.
Is there anyone else here to speak to this issue? Please step forward, state your name and address for the record, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Elvis Abanonu, and professionally, I'm an attorney, and I represent the owners of the business. It's been a few months, if I should say, trying to help transition from what they were to the new status. What if this license is approved? They're looking to provide rental hall that will be affordable, convenient, and accessible to people of different classes, race, and ethnicity. They will host events like weddings, children's parties, sports, meetings, corporate events, and end-of-year party, just to mention a few. Also, this will bring more traffic, business to the 9th Ward and also to the community in which it will be located at. Of course, more employment opportunity. Would also provide multiple entertainment opportunities for people in the community. This would also help also provide access to professional services that is related to the kind of business that they will be providing. For the liquor license, they've had liquor license before, and I believe those representations have been made when they were here before and it was approved. So we really employ the council to approve this so they can actually move along with their business to serve the community. And they, both of them, the owner of the business and the husband has been in this community and has continued to reinvest in that community and will continue to do so. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your testimony. We'll see if there's anyone else here to speak to this issue. Anyone? Anyone? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilmember Chavez.
Thank you, Chair. Más quiero decir bienvenidos y felicidades. Aquí estamos para apoyar su negocio pequeño. Me gustaría visitar un día, pero aquí estoy para apoyar.
Están totalmente invitados todos.
Gracias. Thanks, Chair Goodman. I would love to move this.
Okay, Councilmember Chavez has moved approval of both items 1 and 2. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That is unanimously approved. Thank you for being here today. We'll move on to item number 3, which is Sip and Better. Mr. Cervantes, welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chair and committee members. I am Licensed Inspector Max Cervantes of Licenses and Consumer Services. I am presenting an application from Sip Better, owned by Sip Better Wine MPLS LLC. The business address is 707 3rd Street North, Suite 202, located in Ward 3. The applicant is requesting an off-sale liquor license. The proposed hours of operation are Wednesday through Sunday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. On May 17th, public hearing notices were sent to residents and property owners within 450 feet of the premises. Notices were also sent to the North Loop Neighborhood Association, the Warehouse District Business Association, and Councilmember Rainville. We have received one comment from the community regarding public safety in general in the North Loop neighborhood and concern of adding another liquor establishment in the neighborhood. The submitted safety plan is adequate to address these concerns. The Licenses and Consumer Services Division recommends approval of an off-sale liquor license for Sip Better. This concludes my presentation. At this time, I'll stand for any comments or questions.
Are there any questions for Mr. Cervantes?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Seeing none, I will open the public hearing on item number 3. I see Ms. Miller and Mr. Jones are here. You are free to come forward, and you have 2 minutes. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Council, for hearing us out today, and thanks, Mr. Cervantes, for all your support thus far. So to keep this quick, I just want to add a little color as far as who we are as individuals, what this business is, and what this is not. My name is Jason Jones. I've been in the downtown business community for the last 20 years. I've operated alcohol-related establishments in supervising staff and managing the proper service of alcohol. Currently, I oversee operations at the Armory and have a proven track record for leading large organizations and groups of people in a responsible way. I'm a minority partner here in Sip Better, and I want to introduce my partner, Leslie Miller, and I just want to say I'm proud to support female-led and run business. Leslie will tell you a little bit about herself and what makes this such a unique experience, and then I'll finish in the end.
Thank you so much, council members. My name is Leslie Miller. I've been a certified sommelier for over 25 plus years, and I've spent my career supporting small wine growing international families from around the globe. Also within my own community, I'm a 17-year resident of the city of Minneapolis. My husband and I are also residents and property owners in the North Loop. I was also part of the tiny team who founded the Wine Educators License for the state of Minnesota, and I work closely with the Minnesota Alcohol and Gambling Association. I've also been the spokesperson for the Minnesota Grape Growing Association for over 20 plus years. Lots of spokesperson television media upon that subject. A little bit about Sip Better. We're seeking this off-sale license as a current, basically platform to provide a brand new retail buying experience for the consumer, focusing on wine education, focused on small international wine growing families from around the globe. This business is membership based, and it will have the option of members picking up, or we will be delivering wine for them. What this business is not.
Yeah, so we will be open. We do have public hours. If you notice, they're limited. We also have other safety measures in place. There's no cash on site. A lot of our transactions are done online. We're just trying to meet the consumer with a new way of the shopping experience. With that said, we are not a liquor store. We do not sell, cigarettes, typical, the pints, shooters. That's not our focus. We have a membership base built in. We know our consumer. We know our clients. That's who we're catering to, and then we're also opening that up to our, the new community in the North Loop over in the North 3rd Street area.
Great, thank you so much for
Thank you.
explaining that. That was very helpful.
Appreciate your time.
Is there anyone else here to speak to this issue? Anyone? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilmember Rainville.
Yes, thank you. So there was one concern raised about safety, and I did review your safety plan, so thank you. It seems very adequate. I will be voting for this, and I'd love to make the motion to approve this.
On Councilmember Rainville's motion, are there any further comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? That item is approved. Thank you for being here today. We'll move on to item number 4, Nicolet Diner and Roxy's Cabaret. Mr. Cervantes, welcome back.
Thank you, Madam Chair and committee members. I am Licensed Inspector Max Cervantes of Licenses and Consumer Services. I'm presenting an application from the Nicolet Diner and Roxy's Cabaret, owned by Muffin Top LLC. The business address is 1333 Nicolet Mall, located in Ward 7. The applicant is requesting an on-sale liquor, general entertainment, Sunday sales, special late-night food license. The proposed hours of operation are 24-hour food service daily in their diner space. All other interior spaces, 8 a.m. to 2 a.m. Sunday through Saturday. For their exterior, 3 p.m. to 2 a.m. Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. Saturday through Sunday. They have indoor seating for 223 and outdoor seating for 143 on a private patio. The applicant intends to provide entertainment such as female impersonation shows, stand-up comedy, live music, karaoke, trivia, talent shows, and patron dancing. On May 20th, public hearing notices were sent to residents and property owners within 450 feet of the premises. Notices were also sent to the citizens for Loring Park community and Councilmember Goodman. We have received 3 comments from the community, 2 in support of the application, and 1 is opposed with concerns regarding safety in the area. Licenses and Consumer Services Division recommends approval of an on-sale liquor, general entertainment, Sunday sales, special late-night food license for the Nicolet Diner and Roxy's Cabaret. This concludes my presentation. At this time, I'll stand for any comments or questions.
Thank you, Mr. Cervantes. Are there any comments or questions for staff?
Thank
Seeing
you.
none, we'll open the public hearing. We'll start with Mr. Finley. Welcome. Please step forward. And you have 2 minutes, sir.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
I've resided at 1350 Nicollet Avenue for over 20 years, and I have concerns about a late night noise, because this area where I live has a history of attracting transients, drinkers, and drug users with the resulting noise, which sometimes goes until 3, 4 a.m. in the morning. And I'm afraid that late night entertainment just across the street is going to attract more of this element or add to the noise level. I'd like to point out there are 2 residential buildings in this area. Nicollet Towers at 1350 Nicollet and Loring Towers at 15 East Grant. Concerning the entertainment and outdoor dining, I have a question. Will there be amplified music at all on the street or on the rooftop or anything like that? Another concern I have is increase in late night traffic noise. And that is all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Finley. The next person on the list is Sam Turner. Mr. Turner, welcome. Maybe you can answer the question about amplified music and give your testimony and tell us a little bit about what you're doing.
Yeah, my name is Sam Turner. I'm the managing partner of Muffin Top LLC. We also have been in the neighborhood for a long time. For the last 8 years, we've operated the Nicolet Diner and Muffin Top Cafe. Some would say very successfully and working well with the neighborhood and Minneapolis Police Department and our public partners when it comes to public safety. We have a proven track record of maintaining safety within our establishment, and I think that will extend to that will extend to our new establishment. We have a very comprehensive safety program in place. We've worked with community stakeholders to make sure that we have covered all of our bases. As far as, it is in an entertainment corridor. It's on Nicollet Mall. It's the southern anchor of Nicollet Mall. The city has always wanted to improve traffic there. The location that we took, or the location that we purchased, was Ichiban, and it has been vacant for the last 5 years, nothing happening there at all, which in my opinion led to a lot of the community problems. I have always been an advocate for eyes on the streets, and active streets are safe streets, and that's what we've done with the Nicollet Diner. Putting bodies on the street and in the neighborhood has improved safety on my corner and my corridor. When we have had problems, we've been able to work with community stakeholders to address them and make them go away. So I'm very confident that we will have the same ability in the new location. As to noise, we do have 2 patios. We've added a 3rd story to the building with a small patio that's on the north side. So sound isn't going to go to the south. As far as the other patio, it spans the entire front of the building on the 2nd floor. It will not have loud amplified music. It may have mood music. We wouldn't do any entertainment or anything like that of that nature. But that patio also has a very high parapet wall. It's about 5 feet, so it's very secluded, which will keep a lot of the sound in. But more importantly, we've always been very active in the neighborhood, and if sound or other concerns arose, we would work with stakeholders to make sure that we address them.
Thank you for your testimony, and thank you for being here today. Is there anyone else here to speak to this issue? Anyone? Anyone? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. I'm going to move approval of this recommendation. As Mr. Finley and Mr. Turner both know, this has been a very challenged part of town, and I would argue it's because of the vacant property. Yet the vacant property on the other side of this is a much bigger challenge, the Speedway, which I understand closed this week. The most important thing is that we bring people to this area to do good things. What distracts people from doing bad things is lots of people who are doing good things. This is a restaurant primarily on the 1st floor, a hopefully drag club and comedy shop on the 2nd floor, and a bar on the 3rd floor. I think it's a great use for the mall. I think that the neighbors and the bar can work together in this location, as they have down the block in the other location as well. So I'm happy that you're doing this and happy to move approval. Are there further comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item is approved. We'll move on to item number 5, which is East Street Crossing at 2819 Nicollet Avenue, and Mr. Velasquez will be reporting.
Thank you, Madam Chair and committee members. I'm Enrique Velasquez, Manager of Licenses and Consumer Services. Again, presenting an application from East Street Crossing LLC, doing business as East Street Crossing, located at 2819 Nicolet Avenue in Ward 10. This report was prepared by Inspector Mohammed Ismail. The applicant seeks an on-sale liquor limited entertainment with Sunday sales license. Once approved, the applicant will provide seating capacity for 185 guests in the interior space and 40 in the exterior space. Proposed hours of operation in the interior are Sunday through Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., Thursday from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., Friday and Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 a.m., and in the exterior from Sunday through Thursday from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. On May 18th, 42 public hearing notices were sent to residents within 600 feet of the property. Notices were also sent to the Whittier Alliance and to Councilmember Chuktai. There were no comments or feedback received in response to the public hearing announcement. Review of 311 cases and police calls for service revealed no issues attributable to this business or location. Licenses and Consumer Services recommends approval of the on-sale liquor limited entertainment with Sunday sales license for Urban Street Crossing. This concludes my presentation, and I'll stand for any questions.
Are there any questions for Mr. Velasquez on item number 5? Seeing none, thank you for your report. We'll open the public hearing on item number 5 and see if there's anyone here to speak to this issue. Please step forward, state your name and address for the record.
Hi, good afternoon, Madam Chair, fellow council member. My name is Lena Go, and I'm the president and represent the licensee on the East Street Crossing LLC. I just want to say we're very excited to be in the Whittier neighborhood and Ward 10. We look forward to being the steward of the historical Arizona building to really revitalize that corner of East Street. We will be coming into the neighborhood. We want to provide a community with food and drink, and really to bring about, revitalize that building and that area. So we really look forward to that.
Thank you so much for being here today and for your testimony.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else here to speak to this issue? Anyone? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilmember Chugtai.
Thank you for coming in today. We're really, really excited to have you in Ward 10 and on East Street and making it a place that this community loves more and more. I'm really excited to move approval of this item.
Councilmember Chugtai has moved approval. I will note it. It's very interesting that we have two businesses on either end of East Street helping make the city open up and move forward, and that is a great thing to celebrate. On Councilmember Chugtai's motion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item is approved. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you. We'll move on to item number 6, which is interest in revoked or canceled rental dwelling license ordinance, and we have Andra here to give that report. Welcome and thank you for being here today.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Chair Goodman, council members. My name is Andra Bosniak. I'm the Grants and Community Engagement Manager for Regulatory Services, and I'm here to present on the interest in revoked or canceled rental licenses ordinance. This subsection of the rental licensing standards currently states that if a property owner receives 2 or more rental license revocations or cancellations, they automatically lose all of their rental licenses. This means their entire portfolio for 5 years. When this ordinance was created, it served to hold property owners accountable with the tools available at that time. As you all know, in recent years, Regulatory Services has intentionally moved on an arc from enforcement to education and lastly to engagement, centering renters through policies such as Renter First and an array of other renter protection ordinances that we continue to expand. As our tools for holding property owners accountable have evolved, we are now able to utilize mechanisms such as tenant remedy actions, conditions on rental licenses, the emergency repair ordinance, and many other tools that hold property owners responsible while also aiming to provide safe, healthy, and dignified housing for renters. With the creation of our alternative enforcement team, this particular ordinance was flagged as one whose removal could help us further take renters' needs into account to the greatest extent possible. By updating the ordinance to remove the automatic loss of an entire portfolio, we will be able to take into account the condition of individual properties and preserve renter stability, as renters won't automatically be required to vacate their properties. This is particularly impactful for larger portfolios with properties that would otherwise meet the housing code and do provide safe and habitable housing, even if they've had 1 or 2 revocations for other of their properties. If conditions warrant it, even with this language deletion, we would still be able to revoke an entire portfolio through conditions. However, that is always our last resort. Through conditions, we would also be able to consider a phased approach, which we currently cannot, further centering renters and their needs throughout the entire enforcement process. This concludes my presentation. I'm happy to stand for any questions.
Thank you so much for your presentation. We'll see if there are any questions, starting with Councilmember Ellison.
Thank you so much. I wanted to thank you for the work. It feels very in line with, and I don't know for sure that it is, but it feels very in line with the renter first policy that we worked on just a couple of years ago. And for those that might be looking at this and thinking, wait, this seems like less accountability from the presentation and everything that I'm hearing. I think that folks don't realize that these revocations, they're intended as a way to keep the landlord accountable, hold the landlord accountable, but they actually punish the tenant. And in a time like that we're living in now, to have tenants go from living in a unit that could be much better and that we could help them make much better to living on the street is not the direction we want to be headed in as a city. And that's what happens when we just do these blanket, unnuanced, unsophisticated sort of revocations. And so less of a question and more just wanted to highlight that how much I really appreciate this work and the fact that this is coming forward and that it's going to allow us more tools to keep people housed, which is the most important thing. So that's all. Thank you.
Would you like to move approval?
Oh man, I would love to move approval of this item if there's no other. I didn't want to close off discussion, and I believe that Madam Chair, you're the author of this, listed as the author of this. I'd be happy to be a co-author if we can maybe figure that out by the full council. But yes, happy to move approval for now.
Fantastic. Thank you, Councilmember Ellison. Are there further comments or questions? I do want to note that when the director first approached me about this, I said, I don't want my name on this. I don't want to be the author. I don't want to make it look like we're doing anything to allow really bad landlords to benefit. And after it was explained to me by staff, I decided I would be the author because I do believe actually that this is a step in the right direction. I will note that although we have this power, we have rarely used it. So it doesn't seem to be the kind of stick that we're willing to use anyway. And we can if we need to. I think this is a very tenant-focused idea. We don't want to disrupt people in their housing just because their landlord's terrible if the property that they're living in is not terrible. And so I think that this is a good compromise, and I think it was probably something we did at the time that made sense, but this is now a different time, and I think it is a very good, positive way to go, and I would gladly have Councilmember Ellison as a co-author. Councilmember Ellison.
And I just wanted to add that with the state AG's office getting more involved in treating tenant issues like consumer issues, there is no shortage of mechanisms that we have as a state to address landlords that are doing really, really poor things. So this allows us more of a tenant focus. So just wanted to add that.
On Councilmember Ellison's motion to approve.
Madam Chair, you do need to.
Oh, there's a public hearing. Sorry. I will open the public hearing on item number 6. Is there anyone here to speak to this issue? Anyone? I didn't have a sheet, so I kind of made an assumption, sorry. I will now close the public hearing. All in favor of Councilmember Ellison's motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item is approved. Thank you so much for your thoughtful work on this. We will then move to our 2 discussion items, starting with a commercial property development loan to Supreme Preserve. And I would ask Ms. Moses, thank you for being here today to give this presentation.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Chair Goodman, committee members. My name is Judy Moses with CPED Business Development. This afternoon, we're requesting approval of $325,000 loan from the Commercial Property Development Fund to Supreme ProServe LLC to assist with the purchase of the property at 3101 Minnehaha Avenue. Supreme ProServe is owned by Pinky and Samir Patel. The Patels started their dry cleaning business in 2012 at their St. Anthony location. They expanded to the Elite Cleaners location, which is the subject of this report, in 2016. In the summer of 2020, during the unrest, the subject property was looted and a fire was set inside. The Patels reopened their business with the assistance of the Lake Street Council and Mortensen Construction, who helped them restore the damaged areas. The impact was on top of a slowdown in the business resulting from the COVID pandemic. Since the unrest, the Patels' landlord indicated their desire to sell the property. The Patels had the first right of refusal on the lease, but their landlord wanted to sell the property as a package, which included an adjacent single-family house and a vacant parking lot. The landlord declined their offer to buy the building alone, necessitating a solution that could repurpose the rest of the property. Due to the urgency of the acquisition and complications caused by the attached residence, Seward Redesign purchased the property to prevent the sale to an outside investor. Seward Redesign also provided project management to divide the residential and commercial lots and developed a building demising strategy. Prior to the acquisition by Redesign, the Patels had moved the back of the house cleaning operation to their St. Anthony location in case the former owner sold the property to another buyer. This left the building mostly vacant with the potential for 3 commercial units that could provide needed space for displaced neighborhood businesses. The property will continue to be used as a drop-off location for Elite Cleaners. The majority of the rest of the space is going to be leased by Raven Construction, and there's additional space available for a future office tenant. The total project cost is approximately $1.1 million and includes $831,000 for the property acquisition, $112,000 in improvements. The project will be financed through a combination of sources, including the borrower's equity, a conventional loan from Sunrise Banks, and a grant from the Lake Street Council. The Patels are requesting $325,000 loan from the Commercial Property Development Fund, and staff is happy to recommend approval. This concludes my report, and I will be happy to answer any questions. We do have representatives from the project, the Patels and Seward Redesign here as well to be supportive.
Thank you so much, Ms. Moses, for your report. It just reinforces why these discussion items are so meaningful, to hear the story behind the story, and we're really appreciative of that. I'll see if the Patels or someone from Seward Redesign would like to say something, if the committee is okay with that. Any objection? Okay, I'd invite you up if you'd like to say a few words. And thank you for taking the time to be here today.
Madam Chair and the Council, the neighborhood has suffered a lot, but the day we opened, the community has inspired us so much that we can't move from here. So with the help of Seward Redesign and the City Council and Minneapolis City, this funding is going to help us to stay there for a very, very long time and serve the community. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, and thank you for taking the time to come today.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, welcome.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. My name is Taylor Smeeker. I'm Director of Property Development at Seward Redesign. I'm happy to talk a little bit more about the project and just lend my support. We're so happy to partner with the couple and help them reopen the spot and also become landlords themselves. Redesign is a 50-plus-year-old community development corporation that does this kind of thing quite often, but what we're doing now is a more equitable development process all up and down Lake Street where the damage happens, and so we're happy to support this project as well as a few others that have a similar setup, but yeah, just very proud to be working with them to have them secure this property for their own.
Thank you so much for all of your hard work on this.
Thank you.
Are there further comments or questions from members of the committee? Councilmember Osman.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Madam Chair, and thank you, Seward Redesign, for doing the wonderful work you do in our community. I'm happy to approve this item.
Councilmember Osman has moved approval of the staff recommendation. Are there any further comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item is approved. Congratulations to you. And we'll move on to our last item of the day, which is also Commercial Property Development Fund loan to Infinity Alpha Omega. Ms. Fisher is here. Thank you for being here. I understand Mr. Brown is here as well.
Yes. Good afternoon, Chair Goodman and committee members. My name is Tabitha Fisher. I'm a business development specialist in CPED Business Development. I come before you today to request approval of an $850,000 Commercial Property Development Fund loan to Infinity Alpha Omega LLC. The LLC is a real estate holding company that will own the property at 4026 Washington Avenue North in the Camden industrial area. It will hold the expanded Minuteman Press, owned by both entities owned by Mr. Frank Brown. The loan from the city will help him to purchase the property. In addition, Mr. Brown will make improvements to the property, including HVAC, electrical, interior, and exterior improvements. He will also acquire 2 small printing companies to which he has outsourced projects in the past. The operations of these 2 companies will consolidate into this new facility and will expand his product offerings. Frank Brown has been the successful owner of Minuteman Press in Uptown for 7 years, over 7 years. Mr. Brown is a strong proponent of hiring individuals with a criminal background and giving them a second chance. Mr. Brown is also working with our CPED training, employment and training colleagues, my colleagues in that area, to reach out to youth in North Minneapolis for internships and to introduce them to the printing industry. Frank has been a tenant at his current location since the inception of his business and has been looking to purchase a facility of his own in North Minneapolis for many years. The total project costs are $3.4 million. 21st Century Banks will provide $1.25 million in senior debt financing, along with an $850,000 SBA 504 loan. META will provide a subordinate loan of $240,000, and Mr. Brown is contributing a total of $205,000 of his own equity. The applicant has requested city financial support in the form of a $550,000 forgivable loan from the Commercial Property Development Fund to assist in financing the property acquisition. Staff is recommending approval of this loan. Mr. Brown is here and is prepared to speak briefly about his project. This completes my presentation, and I would be happy to stand for any questions you may have of me.
Thank you, Ms. Fisher. The agenda says $850,000.
It should say, yes, did I say something else?
You said 550, and I'm sure.
Oh,
Mr.
I'm sorry,
Brown
I
was
meant 850.
wondering what was going on.
Apologies, 850,000.
Okay.
I misspoke.
That's okay. I just didn't want Mr. Brown to think we're going to approve the wrong number.
No, that's my mistake.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Fisher, so much for your report and for all your hard work on this. Mr. Brown, would you like to say a few words, sir? Thank you for being here today.
Thank you. So, Chair and other council members, I appreciate you guys, number one, considering this. I've been in business for over 7 years, and I've been trying to, improve things for our community. I live at 4302 Girard Avenue North, which is in the Weber-Camden neighborhood in North Minneapolis. And when I started my business, I decided to live my values, hire people with records, because I believe everyone deserves a second chance. Also decided to pay livable wages, and I made sure that my employees got livable wages. At the beginning of this year, because of the inflation and all the stuff going on, I gave my employees a $2 an hour raise automatically. They didn't have to ask, and the union did not have to come to me. I like to continue doing things for the community and expand my business in North Minneapolis. I'm also part of the printing industry of the Midwest. That's an organization of printers throughout the Midwest. And they're talking about, since George Floyd, to hire people from our community. But I'm aware that our people in our community need some skills and some training. And that's why I want to start the internship program, because I want them to be successfully hired in the printing industry. And if it's successful, then they'll continue to hire people from our community. So I ask that you please approve this and give me this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Mr. Brown. Thank you for taking the time to be here today. Thank you, Ms. Fisher, for your report. Councilmember Ellison.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just wanted to quickly say, really appreciate this coming forward and really appreciate seeing the Commercial Property Development Fund put into action. It's been put into action quite a bit, so just staff, I want to appreciate staff for your work there. And also just want to say, Frank, I hear your voice on AM 950 often. We know each other. It's exciting to see you work, and I'm absolutely happy to move approval of this item, and also really exciting to hear it's sounds like it's spitting distance from your home, and so the north side. This isn't Ward 5, but it's the north side's going to get a really huge asset. And not to be a commercial or anything, but Black-owned union shop. I mean, it's a no-brainer that we want to see this kind of investment in our community. So thank you.
Councilmember Rainville.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Brown, I just want to compliment you on your hiring practices and your foresight to see the need for training for the youth of our community. So thank you so much for what you do.
Further comments or questions? Seeing none, on Councilmember Ellison's motion to approve, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item is unanimously approved. Thank you for being here today. Seeing no further business and without objection, I will call this meeting adjourned. Thank you all.